Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider dropping likes, and if you do consider a subscriber to the channel, as always. So lots to negotiate on this video today, but I'm going to give you some more additional information about Harry Maguire, as they have been updating you on a regular basis, because we do know it has been Manchester United and Manchester City, of course, that have been battling out for his services. So according to recent reports, it does say that, we do believe that we can win the race now for Harry Maguire, after reportedly, Leicester do want around £80 million for him, and City are reluctant, to pay up to £80 million for Harry Maguire. Obviously, City only value him at around £50 million. I don't know whether Manchester United, would be willing to pay, the full amount that Leicester are currently demanding, but I think we are willing to, pay closer to the valuation, of what Leicester, currently want. But we do know Harry Maguire has been one of our potential targets. Obviously, he's been relentlessly, linked to a move to Old Trafford, since last summer, because obviously, reflecting back last summer, obviously Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted, but obviously, last summer Leicester, were demanding around £70 million, and Manchester United, of course, were reluctant to pay that. But I do really like him a lot, and obviously, we've got issues defensively, as you all know. Obviously, that was proven last season because we did concede 54 goals last season. So potentially, we need to address that central defensive area. I do believe that we need two central defenders, and we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. And I do believe, Harry Maguire, would be the right solution for us. I do think he'd blend in alongside Victor Lindelof, really well and all that. But looking at it, ultimately, Leicester don't even want to sell Harry Maguire because Leicester know how much of the central player he is. Obviously, they basically don't even want to sell him. That's why they've basically, priced him out of the transfer market. So this is why they're demanding an extortionate amount for him. So basically, they want around 80 or 90 million pounds. And like I said, I don't think Harry Maguire is worth that, because he's not a Van Dijk, he's not a Koulibaly from Napoli, he's not a Rafael Varane from Real Madrid, he's not in their calibre or level, but he's still a really good central defender. And also, he's British, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to recruit British talents this summer, and he has worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. He wants to recommend a number of young players to come in. We are moving away from the policy of signing well-established players and all that. But yeah, I like Harry Maguire a lot. Basically, Manchester City are seeing him as a replacement for Vincent Kompany, because they want a replacement for Kompany. But I think from Harry Maguire's preference, I think he does want to make the move to Manchester City, because obviously, Manchester City are the dominant force in England at the moment and all that. So this is why he probably wants to go to Manchester City, and obviously Manchester City can offer him Champions League football. Obviously, Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football. But I know we're a toxic club, and we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years and all that. We have been mismanaged in the last 5 or 6 years, but we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England historically and all that. We have got a fantastic fan base, so some players may still want to come to Manchester United, but reportedly Harry Maguire wants to make the move to City. But I think Manchester United would be able to show him first team football and all that. I don't think Harry Maguire, if he went to City, he would be a guaranteed first team football week in week out, because obviously the likes of Manchester City, they've got the likes of John Stones in their back line, they've got Otamendi, they've also got Laporte and all that, so he wouldn't be guaranteed first team football week in week out with Man City would Harry Maguire. But Harry Maguire has made about 101 appearances in the Premier League. He's Premier League proven and all that. That's also very beneficial. He signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023. So he's been at Leicester a couple of seasons. Leicester paid £17 million to him from Hull City. He served a couple of years at Hull City. I think he also had a loan spell with Wigan, and I think he initially began his career with Sheffield United, graduated from their youth system, and played about 166 professional games for Sheffield United. So I do really like him. Obviously, if we were willing to pay up to £80 million for his services, this would obviously make him the most expensive defender in world football. Obviously, at the moment, it's Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk who's the most expensive defender, and it would also make him the most expensive English player of all time. If we were to get if we were willing to pay what Leicester were demanding. Obviously, the most expensive English player at the moment, I think, is Kyle Walker, who City got a couple of years ago, and City got him for around £50 million. There was initial add-ons included, which did potentially rise it to 52 or 53 million pounds. So we could be set to win the race now for Harry Maguire. Like I said, Leicester don't want to sell him. This is why they're demanding an extortionate price tag, and they've obviously they've priced him out of the transfer market and all that. But like I said, Leicester want around 80 or 90 million pounds for him. But like I said, he's made 101 appearances in the Premier League. But obviously, even if he does doesn't leave this summer, at some point in his career, anyway, he's going to want to rejuvenate his career. He's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level, and obviously he's going to want to go to a competitive team. He's going to want to be in Champions League football and all that, and obviously, he isn't going to experience this with Leicester. So hopefully, we can get a deal over the line. Obviously, as you all know, we've got Daniel James on the board. Obviously, he's our first signing this summer. Obviously, our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to want to build on that, and he's going to want to bring another 4 or 5 more players to Manchester United. But we need to see vast improvements, from we need to see vast improvements going on into this season and what we saw last season. Because last season, we finished sixth. We finished sixth last season, and of course, I didn't win any silverware. So we've got to see vast improvements going on here into this season. Like I said, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've got to give him time to spend this summer. See who he can, currently get in and all that. I don't know if he's got the abilities, to command Manchester United forward, but I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot. He was a great player for us for 11 years. Let's be honest, he hasn't really got the experience manager, especially not to the highest level, and that's obviously what does currently concern me. But looking at on this squad's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Daniel James is, but apart from that, he's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. There's players even Van Gaal, there's Maguire from the David Moyes era. Still 4 or 5 players even from the Alex Ferguson era. So he's inheriting all them players. So he is in the process of rebuilding. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to full them areas. Where Manchester United of course are lacking and all that. But like I said, it's essential that we get our number 1 targets this summer. I know it's going to be hard for us to do that because we're not in Champions League football for next season. Like I said, Champions League football is always very pivotal. When you do want to get your number 1 targets. But we've got to get the right recruitment this summer, because analysing our recruitment policy, it's very, very poor. We didn't get anyone in January. Like I said, we didn't get us number 1 targets last summer, because reflecting back last summer, the board went back in, the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. But like I said, I do believe our expectations going on into next season, probably, will be going on into next season, probably, we'll be to maybe finish in the top 4, maybe win the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons anyway, our aspirations is going to be that top 4. I think we're a number of years off, for mounting any kind of title challenge up. Like I said, City strides ahead of us at the moment. Liverpool, of course, our strides ahead of us, and obviously it's very imperative, that we catch up with the likes of Man City and Liverpool. Obviously, as I'm saying as well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on, bringing the right players to Manchester United who he thinks are going to elevate Manchester United forward, who he thinks are going to fit the culture of the club and the history of the club, because these are cultural problems at the club as well. And he's also working on trying to keep his imperative players at the football club. So lots to do this summer. But like I said, I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot, to be quite honest with you. He was a great player for us for 11 years. But we'll find out if he's the right man for Manchester United, going on into next season and all that. I love him to bits. And like I said, I don't want us to keep sacking managers, because, we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers, because we've already sacked 3 managers, since Alex Ferguson retired. But like I said, regardless of who our manager is, no one's going to ever follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, and we're never going to achieve, what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, for a 20 odd year. But like I said, I think we're a number of years off, from winning the league or even challenging for the league. To be quite honest, obviously we haven't won the league since 2013. Obviously that was 6 years ago now. Obviously, last trophy we won was the Europa League a couple of years ago and all that. But we do want to be back to being a competitive elite level football club. So there's lots to sort out in the team. Obviously, we're expected to get a summer clear out, probably 3, 4, maybe 5 players are expected to leave this summer. I think another problem with Manchester United as well, we have far too many players' contracts run down. But Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season that he had been allegedly contacted by a number of agents, saying that their players, do want to come to Manchester United and all that. But like I said, if De Gea leaves, we're going to need a replacement for him. We definitely need a right back. We need 2 central defenders, in my opinion. I think Harry Maguire will be the perfect addition for us. Like I said, if Pogba leaves, we're going to need 3 new additions in that midfield and all that. We also need a right winger, and we need someone who can score them goals, because that was a problem last season as well. Wasn't scoring enough goals, wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal and all that. And we need someone that can deliver them current goals. So there is so many players on our current agenda, and some people said we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because there's a lot of players on our, there's a lot of players that are available for a reasonable figure, of course, that are on our agenda. So some people said, we should be sensible with our recruitment. The spending spree is £200 million, like I said, but obviously it's going to mount up to a lot more than that. If Lukaku gets sold, if Pogba and that gets sold, and I think it will help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. So this is good news that's come out about Harry Maguire. It says we're looking to in the race, of Harry Maguire now. City are in there for him, but City are not willing to meet, what Leicester are demanding. I think Manchester United may be willing to pay closer, we're willing to pay a fee closer to what Leicester are demanding and all that, so we may pay 70 or 75 million pounds for him. But yeah, we now could get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire, but I do really like him a lot. Like I said though, we need 2 central defenders, because like I said, Smalling and Jones are potentially not good enough for Manchester United. They're not good enough to represent Manchester United. They've been 2 long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years. Jones, of course, has been here 8 years and all that. So they have been 2 long-serving players at the club. Like I said, it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them 2 new long-term contracts. But I think, they're not good enough now for Manchester United. They're too inconsistent, plus they're aging up and all that. So, yeah, I think, they do need to go. But I do presume they're going to be next season. We've got Eric Bailly, but like I said, he's initially lost his place in the team. Eric Bailly's Manchester United career has been affected, with his fallout under managers. Obviously, with his injuries he has sustained. It's had a really bad effect on Eric Bailly's career. Obviously, he's been here since 2016. Obviously, we paid £30 million for him. So, I think we would be open to selling him, but I think we'd look to recoup the initial £30 million, that we did pay for him from Villarreal back in 2016. So yeah, and it's looking like Rojo's going to be going as well, looking like Darmian's going to be going. So an estimated guess we can get around 25 or £30 million for Matteo Darmian and Marcus Rojo. But like I said, there's been so many central defenders on our agenda. Obviously, Matty Stillett has been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window, because obviously it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving Ajax. He's going to be leaving Ajax, but it still remains uncertain, I think, where he will be playing his trade next season, because I don't think he's yet made a decision on his future. Obviously, Matty Stillett's been one of our priority targets, but I think we are set to miss out on Matty Stillett, because I think recent reports have said, his likely destinations are Barcelona or PSG, even though I think recent reports did say as well he has turned down Barcelona, and he did actually say now that PSG are in the ascendancy. It come out the other day in the media saying that PSG offered Ajax around £70 million with add-ons included, and it did say PSG had offered Matty Stillett a 5-year contract, worth around £340,000 a week and all that. And it did say that Matty Stillett's agent Raiola has been in negotiations with PSG sporting director, of course, to get a deal over the line. But I like Matty Stillett a lot. He's only very young. He's 19 years of age. Central defender. He's the only defender to win the Golden Boy Award, and I think he won the Golden Boy Award last year. Did Matty Stillett. But so many teams have inquired about his services, because he has been subjected to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. We do know we've been in there for him. PSG are in there for him. Barcelona, Juventus, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich I think now have dropped out of the race. Liverpool of course have been in there for him. I think, like I said, the main factor reason why Liverpool have showed their interest, because obviously Liverpool have got Virgil van Dijk, and Liverpool would like to put Matty Stillett alongside Van Dijk in their back line, because they've got a good relationship. They know each other really well, and they're both Dutch and all that. So this is the main factor reason why Liverpool have been in for him. In terms of the transfer fees, he's going to cost you from 70 to 75 million pounds, because that's what is initially rated at. But it's looking very imminent. He is going to be leaving. PSG have spent big in the last couple of seasons, like I said, on Neymar and Mbappe. They're the 2 most expensive players in the world. But recent reports have said they are in the ascendancy now of getting Matty Stillett's signature. But we do know, at least in the last couple of months, that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy of getting Matty Stillett. Even though it did take, quite a few weeks back now, saying that talks had stalled, between Matty Stillett and Barcelona, reflecting on the financial demands, because obviously Barcelona were not willing to meet, what De Ligt was demanding and what his agent Raiola was demanding. So this is the main factor reason why the current talks had stalled. But he looks destined to make the move to Barcelona. Quite a few weeks back, it said in Sky Sports he was set to join Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate Frankie de Jong, and maybe from Matty De Ligt's perspective, he wants to maybe reunite with his current teammate and all that. So I think now it is Barcelona and PSG are the 2 teams that are considered to be the favourites to get a deal over the line for him. But it didn't, as you say, we offered him a lucrative contract, worth up to 350 grand a week. Obviously, this equates to almost 17 million pounds a year. And obviously, if this was to process, which I don't think it's gonna, it would make him the highest paid teenager in world football, and also make him one of the highest paid players at Manchester United. But I don't see it happening now, to be quite honest with you. Like I said, quite a lot of teams have inquired about his services. Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football anyway, and I think he wants to go to a club that's got Champions League football. Matty Stillett, we would be able to show him first team football, and I think first team football would be much easier for him at Manchester United than it would be for him if he was, to go to Barcelona and all that. But I think we are set to miss out on Matty Stillett. Obviously, like I said, 19 years of age, so far spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, he's become an integral part of Ajax's squad. Like I said, won the Golden Boy Award last year. Obviously, enjoyed a great season with Ajax last season, you know, winning, you know, the domestic double. That was the first time Ajax won the domestic double in 17 years. Of course, winning the Eredivisie title for the first time in 5 years, and of course progressing to the Champions League semi-final, of course. So I think he made his senior debut at just the age of 17, did the late, he's now 19, and I think he got named captain at just the age of 18 and all that. So yeah, very good player. I think he's made about 117 senior appearances for Ajax, but he became more of a first team starter, you know, for Ajax when Davinson Sanchez, you know, left for Tottenham, you know, back in 2017. But I do believe if, you know, when he goes, I think he'll either go to Barcelona or he will, of course, go to PSG. So I think he'll either be playing his trade in Spain next season or he'll be playing his trade in France with PSG. So I don't see him now, you know, coming to Manchester United. Obviously, you know, there's been other central defenders on our agenda as well. Obviously, you know, there's been talks of Toby Alderweireld, you know, from Tottenham. Looking at from a financial point of view, you know, Toby Alderweireld is, you know, a much cheaper solution, and he's a much cheaper solution than the likes of Harry Maguire, than the likes of Delate, than the likes of Koulibaly and all that. And he's going to substantially cost us a lot less than all them players, of course. But I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, you know, to recommend Toby Alderweireld in, because Solskjaer he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. And, you know, Alderweireld is aging up now, you know, he's 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace. I still think he'd be a great upgrade in our defence, because he's proven in the Premier League as Alderweireld, just like Harry Maguire's proven in the Premier League, and so too is Alderweireld. But obviously, you know, we'd get longer out of Harry Maguire, because obviously Harry Maguire's about 4 years younger than Toby Alderweireld, of course. But, you know, he was one of the targets that Jose Mourinho wanted last summer. But Toby Alderweireld is available for £25 million this summer, because that's his initial release clause and all that. But he has basically, you know, refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham. So he's obviously, you know, been on Manchester United's agenda. So yeah, I think we need two central defenders, in my opinion. Like I said, I was very impressed with Victor Lindelof last season. You know, he did really, really well. His distribution was good. He was showing that he can play out from the back. He's passing that really, really good. And he blended in our back line fantastically well. But like I said, you know, we need someone that can, you know, can go alongside him in our back current line. And I wanted to give you some additional information about Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Some more good news has come out about him, because it's looking very imminent now. You know, he's going to be coming to Manchester United and all that. Reports have come out now saying that Tottenham have pulled out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. This is very, very good news, because a lot of reports in the Portuguese press came out last week saying that Tottenham had entered the race. It also said that Liverpool, of course, had entered the race. But basically, you know, Tottenham were seeing him as an alternative to Giovanni Lo Celso, because I think Giovanni Lo Celso is Tottenham's, you know, priority target and all that. You know, reports came out last month saying that Tottenham had lodged a bid in, and reportedly, you know, Real Betis had turned this bid down. So it did say Tottenham were initially seeing him as an alternative to Giovanni Lo Celso. Tottenham have got quite a few, you know, targets on their agenda, because obviously, you know, if Christian Eriksen goes to Real Madrid, obviously Tottenham are going to want to replace it for him. And initially, Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer anyway, because obviously they haven't done any transfer activity, you know, in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player they got was Lucas Moura back in 2018, and obviously, you know, Mauricio Pochettino's going to want back in this summer, and I think he has threatened to resign as Tottenham manager, you know, if he doesn't get back to this summer. Tottenham have spent about 254 million since Pochettino got recommended in. Pochettino's been at Tottenham, you know, since 2014, so he has been there about 5 years, of course. But yeah, you know, Pochettino does want back in the summer, so he has got quite a few targets on his agenda. But now reportedly they have pulled out of the race. But we do know mainly it has been, you know, Manchester United and Manchester City, you know, battling out for his services. But obviously it confirmed the other week that Manchester City have also, you know, pulled out of the race for Bruno Fernandes, and then they have basically, you know, now withdrawn their interest. But Bruno Fernandes, you know, did say he would talk to Sporting Lisbon about leaving. You know, if a big team come calling in, or if someone come up with an offer, you know, that he couldn't refuse and all that. He did say the other week that Ed Woodward was hesitant about us, you know, about our transfer move for Bruno Fernandes, because I think, you know, Ed Woodward has got reservations, you know, about spending big on players who he doesn't think are going to step up to the plate. But I think, you know, Bruno Fernandes, you know, definitely will. I think we are prepared to pay around, is it what, 70 or 71 million pounds for his services. I think initially Sporting Lisbon want at least around 50 million pounds for him. But like I said, I think he'll step up to the plate with Manchester United. He's had a good couple of seasons with Sporting Lisbon. He hasn't really played to the highest level as yet, you know, don't get me wrong, but he's had a good couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. He's exceeded expectation levels, and I do believe he can replicate this in the Premier League with Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. You know, he's only 24 years of age. He is primarily an attacking midfielder, and I think regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba or not, I still think we want to bring Bruno Fernandes in. But I do really, really like him a lot. Like I said, I think Inter Milan have also expressed their interest in maybe he would go make the return back to Italy, you know, if he had the chance, because obviously, you know, he spent the majority of his career in Italy, you know, when he was younger, you know, with the likes of Sampdoria and underneath and all that. But I do believe he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. He's Bruno Fernandes, and obviously this is what he's going to want to do, and he's going to want to rejuvenate his career. But I do believe he can definitely exceed expectation levels in the Premier League last season for Sporting Lisbon. He scored about 31 goals, and like I said, that midfield area is one of the pivotal areas where we do need to strengthen up. Like I said, if Pogba goes, we're going to need a replacement for him. But like I said, I think Bruno Fernandes is the right solution. Initially, it did say before that City were only willing to pay around £47 million for his services. I think it also said that City were willing to offload a couple of their players as part of the deal. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes, did still say that he watches the Italian Championship and that he does watch Inter Milan and all that. But I think he still remains uncertain about his future and all that. He come out the other week saying that he denied having any negotiations with Manchester United over the potential move to Old Trafford. But we want to get this deal finalised. It initially said we'd scheduled the meeting with Sporting Lisbon, to get this deal finalised for Bruno Fernandes. So it's looking likely, he's going to be coming in, which is very, very good news now. And I think he's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. I think his initial release clause is around £86 million. But like I said, it's essential that we get the deal over the line because he's been one of our main priority targets. Obviously, as I updated you yesterday, in regards of what's going on with Adrian Rabiot from PSG. Now, obviously, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving PSG, Adrian Rabiot. The beneficial thing is about this, obviously, no team has to pay any transfer fee for him because obviously he's a free agent soon, and obviously, he's coming to an end of his contract. But reports were coming out yesterday saying that Juventus, Adrian Rabiot had held negotiations with Juventus over the transfer to the Italian Giants. So I think Juventus, have probably been in there for Adrian Rabiot, but quite a few teams have been in there for him. Manchester United, Liverpool have been in for him. I think also Arsenal have been in for him because obviously Adrian Rabiot's played under Unai Emery when obviously Unai Emery was at PSG, and actually Adrian Rabiot, flourished under Unai Emery's guidance and all that. So maybe Unai Emery is keen on reuniting with the player. A lot of people have got reservations about Adrian Rabiot, with his bad attitude and that because he has got a bad attitude. I think his mother acts like he's his current agent, but reports came out was it a week or two back, saying that we'd offered him a lucrative contract, worth around £170,000 a week, and it did say there was also a sign-on fee included of around £10 million a year. Obviously, that equates to around £170,000 a week, but I still believe we are in for Adrian Rabiot. He's only 24 years of age. I think he can play in various positions in that midfield, but I think he's primarily a central midfielder. Like I said, 24, still got a hell of a lot of development in him, but I still think from Adrian Rabiot's perspective, he's unsure where he will be playing next season. Obviously, hasn't played one single game for PSG this season because obviously, last year, he had been withdrawn from the PSG squad by Thomas Tuchel, based on his refusal to sign a new contract. So it's looking very imminent he's going to be leaving PSG. Obviously, Adrian Rabiot spent the majority of his career with PSG. He graduated in their youth system. I think he's been their senior squad since 2012. But in total, I think he's been there about 8 years. So he has been a long-serving player with Paris Saint-Germain. He's won about 18 major honours there, including 5 League One titles and all that. I think he also had a spell with Manchester City. When he was younger, so he's had experience of playing in Manchester as Adrian Rabiot. So he's reportedly still on Manchester United's agenda. I do like, what I've seen of him, he can play well, but people have got reservations about him. Reflecting on his attitude and all that. His attitude, of course, is really, really bad. Like I did say, obviously, there was a lot of talks about Ivan Rakitic, going on yesterday. Like I said, I've got reservations about Ivan Rakitic, coming in because obviously, reflecting on his age and that, he's 31 years of age, he's aging up, and I just don't think he'd succeed now in the Premier League. Ivan Rakitic, to be quite honest with you, I think he'd probably cost you around 40 million quid. It does say Manchester United are interested in Ivan Rakitic. Obviously, I think he's had a really good career. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, the majority of his silver he has won has come at Barcelona. Obviously, he's been at Barcelona about 5 years, hasn't he, or something like that. But yeah, Ivan Rakitic, I think Ernesto Valverde, the Barcelona manager, has confirmed that he's had a meeting and all that, and he said he's willing to let Ivan Rakitic go this summer as long as Barcelona get a suitable offer for him and as long as Barcelona can find an adequate replacement for him. I think from Ivan Rakic's perspective, he's got no intentions of leaving Barcelona because I think he's happy with Barcelona. He's under contract with them still until 2021. But yeah, primarily I think he can play as a central or an attacking midfielder. But I think Manchester United have been in for Ivan Rakitic before quite a few times. But like I said, Barcelona have got Frankie de Jong coming in this summer. The rumours going on, saying that, with him coming in, but, having Matic could find himself surplus to requirements and he could find game time very, very difficult. But Barcelona may be expected to bring a couple of more midfielders in this summer. So having Matic is going to find it hard, to get current game time. But don't get me wrong, he is a really, really good player. He's had a good career, before he was at Barcelona, I think he was at Seville where he won the Europa League. I think he also had about 3.5 years with Schalke, and he began his career with Basel and all that. So yeah, he does say Manchester United are in for him, but I just, I wouldn't want, Manchester United to bring Ivan Rakitic, of course, to the club. So he's another midfielder on Manchester United's agenda. He's another midfielder on Manchester United's agenda. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis as well, in regards to Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Now, according to recent reports, he's notified Crystal Palace that he wants to join Manchester United this summer. Like I said, I'm still sceptical about Wan-Bissaka coming to Manchester United. I still don't think there's enough credibility in it as yet. The recent report said, we are preparing to put a bid in for him of around £50 million. Whether this will be enough to convince Palace to offload him or not, I do not know. Looking at it, ultimately, Crystal Palace don't want to offload, Wan-Bissaka, because Crystal Palace know how much of an essential player he is to them, because he has become an integral part of their team. Obviously, he's been in Crystal Palace's senior squad, since February of last year, where he did make his senior debut and all that, and I think he's now made about 42 senior appearances for Crystal Palace. But like I said, he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace so far. I think he's been a Crystal Palace player since the age of 11 or something like that. Initially, when he was younger, he was an out-and-out winner, but as he was developing, he got rotated as a right-back. So now Wan-Bissaka is predominantly a right-back. Recent reports said, we had around a £40 million bid turned down for him, but I think Crystal Palace want at least around £68 million for Wan-Bissaka. But I do like him a lot. I do believe he is our top priority. He's only 21 years of age, but we definitely need a right-back. Wan-Bissaka still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. But like I said, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to get a deal over the line for him. Obviously, he's British. Like I said, there's a lot of British players on our agenda, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer. But like I said, he's proven in the Premier League, he's Wan-Bissaka, and I do believe he's got the abilities, to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. And obviously, Wan-Bissaka is going to want to rejuvenate his career. He's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. I think also Tottenham have inquired about his services. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on. But like I said, we're going to need a replacement for Antonio Valencia in that right back position, because obviously we know that Valencia is leaving the club. Obviously, we do know Valencia has been here 10 years, so he's been a long-serving player with the club. But I still think it remains uncertain where Valencia's next destination is going to be. Obviously, we need an upgrade to Ash Young, because Ash Young's been a long-serving player here. He's been here 8 years now. As Ash Young no longer got the ability, to fulfil that right back position. Too inconsistent now. One of the problematic players. He has passed his sell-by date, because he's 33. He's nearly 34 years of age, and I think he is going to be given the captaincy for next season. He was, our first choice right back last season, of course, Ashley Young, but he is one of the problematic players. And obviously, Manchester United give him a new 1 year extension, which we shouldn't have currently done. But yeah, we need definitely need an upgrade to him, and we need a cover up for Diego Dalot. So I do believe that Wan-Bissaka would be the right solution indeed. But reportedly he wants to make the move to Manchester United, because as you all know, it's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Obviously, there's been quite a few right backs on our agenda. Obviously, there's been talks about Meunier from PSG, and I like Meunier a lot. And looking at from a financial point of view, Thomas Meunier is going to cost us, he's going to substantially cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka is. Meunier, obviously, Meunier is 27 years of age. He's an experienced fullback, but Manchester United have been in for him. I think also Arsenal have been in for Meunier, but very, very good. He's predominantly a right back, can also play in other positions, so very versatile. He's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, and obviously hasn't played in the Premier League as yet, but he's 27, and I still think he's got at least about 3 or 4 years in him as Meunier. He has been at PSG 3 years. I think he's made about 101 appearances for them and all that, and yeah, he's surplus to requirements now at PSG, and this is the main factor reason why he's probably set to leave PSG this summer. He's only got a year left on his deal, but he did say the other week that PSG want around £25 million for him, and that is a reasonable figure, of course. So he's reportedly on Manchester United's agenda is Thomas Meunier. There were talks of Max Aarons from Norwich if we don't get a deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka. So basically we were seeing Max Aarons as an alternative to Wan-Bissaka and all that. So yeah, there's been quite a few right backs on our current agenda, because that's one of the pivotal areas where we do need to strengthen up. Obviously, as well as I have been updating you on a regular basis about Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku, I think it's looking likely that both players are probably going to leave Manchester United this summer. The reason I did say, there was a possibility, a chance that both players could remain at the football club, based on the huge transfer fees that we have currently, put on them. In regards to Paul Pogba, we do know he's heavily linked to a move to Juventus. He's also heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. So we do potentially know that recent reports have come out, saying that Juventus have held negotiations. Well, the Juventus director has held talks, with Manchester United in London, because he did travel to London, to hold negotiation with Manchester United over re-signing Paul Pogba. And this is coming from Damasio as well, who's an Italian journalist, and he did say Juventus have begun negotiations with Manchester United, because Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Like I said, he could be open to making the return back to Turin. I think his first choice preference is Real Madrid, but like I said, I think he could be open to making the return back to Turin, because he did have 4 good years in Turin with Juventus. He exceeded expectation levels. He played really, really well, but hasn't really replicated this form since he did come back to Manchester United. More than likely, Juventus would have to offload a couple of their essential players as part of the deal to lure Paul Pogba away from Manchester United, because I don't think Juventus would be able to afford Paul Pogba outright and all that. He did reportedly say if we reportedly we've told Juventus that we want Joe Cancelo in exchange for Paul Pogba. I think Joe Cancelo has actually been linked to a £44 million move to Manchester City, but reportedly we've demanded him if we are willing to let Paul Pogba make the return back to Turin and all that. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative Paul Pogba is, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is trying to do everything he can to try and convince him to stay at the football club. He came out the other week saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer him the captaincy. It also came out, obviously, we do know anyway, his agent has been in negotiations, trying to find him a new club, at least in the last couple of months. Paul Pogba still got 2 years left on his contract with Manchester United, with an option of Vienna. Like I said, we did pay £89 million for him. But I still think, like I said, his first choice preference is Real Madrid. Obviously, it's Zinedine Zidane's main priority target. So Zinedine Zidane wants to get a deal over the line for him. But initially, we want around £150 million for Paul Pogba. And I think, Real Madrid are reluctant to meet that. So Florentino Perez is not keen on a straight cash payment. But obviously, Zinedine Zidane, wants, Paul Pogba, to help him with his rebuilding project. Obviously, Real Madrid so far this summer have got 5 players on the board. Obviously, they got Eden Hazard for £150 million. I think he signed a 5-year deal, was it? Obviously, they got Luka Jovic from Frankfurt, who they paid £60 million. So, they got Eddie Militao from Porto. They got Mendy from Lyon and all that. So, they've got about 5 players in there so far this summer of Real Madrid. But now they'll be looking to get a deal over the line for Paul Pogba, because basically Zinedine Zidane has instructed his Real Madrid board, to prioritise a transfer for Paul Pogba, because I think he wants to link Paul Pogba up, with Casemiro in his Real Madrid midfield. But Paul Pogba said a while back, he's about his dreams of playing for Real Madrid. He said at some point in his career he does want to play for Real Madrid and all that. But maybe a couple of main factor reasons why he wants to leave Manchester United, because maybe he wants to be in Champions League football, maybe he wants to be winning stuff, maybe he wants to be competing and all that, and he isn't experiencing this at Manchester United, and maybe, like I said, he wants to be playing amongst better players. Obviously, like I said, we did pay big money for Paul Pogba. We've got a history of spending big on players, especially in recent years, and especially in recent years, like I said, Lukaku 75 million, Pogba £89 million. Like I said, always spending big on players and getting them well-established players, doesn't always guarantee you success. Like I said, you can get the best players in the world. If you're not playing as a unit and you're not playing as a team, of course, it isn't going to work out for you. So that is the problem. So there, like I said, I think we are moving away from the policy, of signing well-established players and all that. And obviously, Solskjaer is looking to bring young players to Manchester United that can grow, develop and emulate into superstars and all that. But like I said, he's been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid, so I don't think, Real Madrid are keen on a straight cash payment. So potentially, it did initially say, the other week, or was it early on this week, that Real Madrid, were willing to offer Gareth Bale in a transfer offer for Paul Pogba. So possibly, Bale could be still part of the deal with Paul Pogba. Reports were emerging out earlier on this week saying that Manchester United actually inquired about getting Gareth Bale on loan. Obviously, we don't want to get Gareth Bale permanently, based on that his injury profile. own and all that. But we do know that Gareth Bale has been relentlessly, linked to a move, to Old Trafford since 2013, and the rumours, of course, have continued to persist since then. But like I said, we've inquired about getting him on loan reportedly. He did initially say we want to get him on a long season loan, but it's potentially 2 seasons because there's an option to extend it for the further year. And he did say, we was happy, to pay his wages off him and all that. And this could be beneficial for Real Madrid because it could not, it can knock £50 million off their wage bill in the next couple of seasons. I think Real Madrid either way want to get rid of him, whether they get rid of him on loan or get rid of him permanently. But Real Madrid are going to find it very difficult to get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages and all that. Not many teams will be able to afford him. But obviously, Zinedine Zidane has confirmed that Gareth Bale has no future at Real Madrid, and he has no future at Real Madrid, and obviously he's confirmed that he no longer fits in Zinedine Zidane's plans at Real Madrid and all that. So Real Madrid want to get rid of him. He initially said Real Madrid want around £75 million for him, so basically looking to recoup the majority of the money that they did pay for him from Tottenham back in 2013, because obviously they paid £85 million for him from Tottenham back in 2013 and all that. But I've got reservations about him. He's aging up, he's nearly 30 years of age now. He's Bale, like I said, he's injury prone. He's been inconsistent in the last couple of seasons with Real Madrid, but to say he's injury prone, his ratio still very good. He scored 102 goals in 231 games for Real Madrid, and I think he's provided about 64 assists and all that. But Bale can play on the left. He can also play on the right and all that. I think from Bale's perspective, he's got no intentions of leaving Real Madrid. But yeah, it came out early on this week saying that Manchester United have inquired about getting him on loan, but Real Madrid will find it difficult to get rid of him permanently. But as I was saying with Pogba, he was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho, and I think back in January there was talks of Pogba going to Barcelona. There were also talks again of him, making a return back to Turin and all that. But obviously Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes, of course, when Jose Mourinho got sacked from the club. So like I said, I think probably Paul Pogba will end up leaving the club. And obviously, he wants to leave the club anywhere, as you all know. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Romelu Lukaku as well, it's looking very imminent now. He's going to be leaving Manchester United. Obviously, Inter Milan have been heavily linked to him. Reports have confirmed now that Inter Milan have agreed personal terms with Lukaku, which means he could earn around 6.6 million in bonuses until 2024, because I think Lukaku has agreed around a 5-year deal, is it, with Inter Milan. So basically, everything has been agreed, but the initial fee, I still think Inter Milan, are negotiating with us about coming to an agreement on a fee. I think initially we want at least around £62 million for Lukaku. It did come out a couple of weeks ago saying that we wanted around £80 million for Lukaku. So basically either way, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because we got him for £75 million. Obviously there were several add-ons included in the deal of around £15 million, which initially risen it to £90 million. And obviously he has still got 3 years left on his contract as Lukaku, and I think he's on about £250,000 a week. Obviously Antonio Conte got appointed as Inter Milan's new manager a couple of weeks ago, and obviously he's identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Obviously reflecting back in 2017, when Antonio Conte was the manager of Chelsea, obviously Conte wanted Romelu Lukaku then. But obviously, he came to Manchester United and all that. But yeah, he's been heavily linked to move to Inter Milan. I think from Lukaku's perspective, he does want to leave Manchester United, because obviously, he's surplus to requirements at the club, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. And Lukaku is reluctant, to play a backup, to Marcus Rashford. Lukaku's been at Manchester United 2 seasons. Obviously, he scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competitions. Did really, really well in his first season, but endured a difficult second season, because we know mainly Rashford had been first choice ahead of him. But what we're currently demanding, like I said, I think the fee could actually be the stumbling block of Lukaku making his move, because obviously Inter Milan I think are reluctant to pay up to £62 million for him. I think from Inter Milan's perspective, they rate Lukaku at around £50 million. But I think it did initially say as well that Inter Milan do need to raise around £40 million before the end of this month to meet financial fair play regulations. So I did say there's a possibility chance that could be a stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan. But I do believe he's currently going to leave. Like I said, I think somehow they are going to come to some kind of agreement. Obviously, it came out the other week, saying that Lukaku had been in Italy. He'd held negotiations with Inter Milan's representatives over getting a deal finalised. So I do believe everything else has been initially agreed. Inter Milan they've agreed the personal terms. They're willing to meet his wage demands and all that. I think he's agreed a 5-year deal and all that. But they just now need to come to an agreement on a fee. Obviously, Inter Milan offered Ivan Perisic as part of a swap deal, for Lukaku, plus cash as well. But I think, Manchester United had turned this down because we know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target under Mourinho, but he's no longer a Manchester United target, now. Obviously, I think, Inter Milan have offered Icardi as part of the deal with Lukaku, but again, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been keen on bringing Mario Icardi in. But like I said, a couple of weeks ago, Manchester United, told him that he can't leave the club. But like I said, his ratio is very, very good in the Premier League. He's scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. His pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. But I've got reservations about him. Too slow, not really good in the air. He hasn't got that endless potential and all that. Lukaku. So I've got so many strong reservations about him. But he's 26. He's in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him and all that. But obviously Manchester United, can no longer assure him first team football. So basically Lukaku was first choice under Mourinho, but since Solskjaer's come in, Lukaku has found game time very difficult. And I think he did sustain, quite a few injuries last season. So I do believe he's going to be going to Inter Milan. So, we'll probably raise around £200 million at least, for Pogba and Lukaku. And that's going to be beneficial for us because obviously that'll help us our rebuilding process, like I said, and it will of course help us with our transition. But like I said, there's been another problem with Manchester United. Let's be honest, we have let far too many players their contracts run down. Like I said, obviously Rashford is in the final year of his deal. I don't think we're orchestrating on selling Marcus Rashford because we still know he's the long-term solution for Manchester United and all that. Obviously, he's been in United players since the age of 7, the age of 8, and all that. And progressing up the ranks fantastically well as Marcus Rashford. He's been in the senior squad with us, since 2016. I know his performances have been very inconsistent in the last couple of months, but I still believe he's a long-term solution. Like I said, he's in the final year of his deal. I think we have been in talks of trying to get Marcus Rashford a new contract, so hopefully we can get him a new contract. Obviously, I've already given you the latest news, haven't I, about David De Gea and all that. Again, it's looking very imminent, he's going to be leaving the club. Because obviously, we haven't come to an agreement to get him a new contract and all that. So, like I said, it's looking like that David De Gea is currently, going to be leaving. I do presume as well, that Sanchez, should be leaving Manchester United. But like I said, now he's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Is he going to succeed in these conditions? And this is a question I'm asking: is he going to succeed in these conditions? Because obviously now we're not expected to appoint a sporting director in, and obviously this means Ed Woodward is going to be overseeing our transfer business this summer. But like I said, we needed to get a director of football in. That's a structural change, that we did need in the club. But it's looking like, we're going to stick with the same structure at the club and all that. But it's very disappointing because there were so many, candidate names linked with that director as well. Ferdinand were linked with it, everyone were linked with it, Paul Mitchell, I think we're linked with it, Edwin van der Sar were linked with it. So there were so many candidate names, mentioned linked with that director as well. But it's looking like, we are going to be sticking with the same structure, of course, which I'm actually, very, very annoyed about, to be quite honest. But in terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm still backing him. I do like him a lot, and I hope it does work out for him at Manchester United. I really, really do hope it works out for him at Manchester United. Obviously, one of his most iconic moments as a player, of course, was in 1999. Obviously, when he scored that late goal at the Nou Camp against Bayern Munich, and of course won us the treble, and that's obviously one of the club's greatest achievements and all that. But yeah, he was a great player, and his pedigree is very good as a player, but he hasn't really got it as a manager, and this is what concerns me. But he did well in his first 3 months as interim manager. He exceeded expectation levels and all that, and the results were good, the performances were really, really good. So yeah, very, very good indeed. But it just seems to have all gone wrong, since he has got the job permanently. But like I said, we've got Daniel James in now, and we'll look to build on that, of course. And yeah. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.